Welcome, friend. Welcome to Morrowind. Welcome, friends. Welcome back to Morrowind.
Welcome to Balmora. We're a House Lalu town and loyal citizens of the Empire. What can I do for you?
You can let me just talk. Lalu Guard. Thank you very much. Sorry about missing last week. Everything... I mean, you can imagine me waving helplessly out of reality at the moment. It was just all a bit much, and one way or another it just didn't happen. I did try. I tried to get it together repeatedly and failed repeatedly, so that was nice. But here we are. It's a brand new day and I got about 3 hours of sleep, so I'm probably a bit croaky and I'm definitely going to be a bit incoherent, but I'm sure that will add to the fun of the experience. So today I want to just do a few of the other things around Balmora that are waiting to be looked at. And two of the things that experienced players have tended to do in Balmora is steal a nice sword and murder an orc and go gate crashing. That's three things. So let's do those. The sword is in the East Guard Tower. I think it's this one.
This town is Balmora, council seat of House Lalu.
Yeah.
We're loyal citizens of the Empire and proud of it. Well, most of us anyway.
That's frank of you. Thank you for sharing.
My time is precious, so make it
The
quick.
sword is up here. And as you can imagine, it's not, with the guard standing there, it's not super easy to get. But you can sneak. Yeah, you can hide. Do that. Can I not hide and jump at the same time? Guess not. Do I have an invisibility? I might have an invisibility. I don't really want to kill the guard. There we go. That right? No, that. I forget if opening the closet breaks the invisibility or not. I don't remember what it looks like on the bottom. Apparently it does. So let's reload.
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
Yes, I'd love to. Can I get that from there? Okay, I can. How about if I'm sneaking?
Grab her!
Okay. So, I mean, it's up there. Do I make it? I'm fairly sure there's a way to do it without killing the guard, but I don't remember what. Maybe if I go here, stop that. Sneak. Do the invisibility thing. I need to get the guard to look another way, though.
Seize her!
Okay. Maybe I have to try to goad the guard into attacking me first, then. It's a hard world.
You will die!
Yes, I will die over and over again, there's no doubt about it. Load. Quick save. Okay. Grand Theft artifact and all that.
I'm waiting.
Okay. Now we pay the taunt thing. Although, as I've said before, I'm stubborn. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Okay, gotcha. What I'll probably... Excuse me. Frog. What I'll probably do is speed through that persuasion chain for a bit, since it wasn't like I was saying anything anyway. Philo armor is actually pretty nice. And as you can see, it's not stolen. I might flog that to someone. And I might add a couple of pieces to my very peculiar selection. Torch. No. Keep your torch and your sword. This is what we're here for. The Sword of White Woe. As you can see, very high value. Damage is big. It's an ebony sword. And on top of that, it has a significant drain health as well. It is a monster of a weapon. It is stolen. So I'm going to have to ideally work my way around with Creeper Yeah, that'll help. That's a decent chunk of cash. Work my way up to laundering it through Creeper. Because he's 0 mercantile skill, once I can get him to afford it, I should be able to buy it straight back again without any problems. That's the goal, anyway. Now we've finally done that, let's save that. Do we have anything else? I mean, since we're robbing the armory, we might as well rob the armory, right? That doesn't not really worth the effort. Longsword, no. A dagger, no. Steel staff, no. Iron warhammer, no. Staff. Sword. Sword, dagger. No, that's fine. Quite cozy down here. Nice little break room. Breakers and breaked legs, I guess, in my case. Still, well, it's a little bit of foul murder between NPCs. Okay, so that's the Sword of White Woe. It's very nice. And very murderous, as you would expect of a good fancy sword. And because it's a long blade, I can use it just fine. That's one of the good reasons for taking long blade, actually, is to get the Sword of White Woe early on. I have seen, I forget how, but I have seen people do it without harming the guard. I think maybe you have to get the guard looking down the stairs and then have a high enough sneak, something like that. Maybe you need some chameleon. But I forget. So the next thing, while we're doing horrifying murder, is Dura-gra-Bol or Berg-Gro or Durag anyway. Durag is an orc who exists to be a target when you're doing the Morag Tong quests. They are an assassination victim. And here we are. Gra-Bol. Oh yeah, Gra-Bol, that's right. Everyone's so concerned about my health. It's interesting. Then again, I suppose if I was wandering down the high street covered in open, bleeding sword slashes, people would at least look at me weirdly. So, alright, just to make you all feel better, dear NPCs, I'll have some more milk. Tasty guar milk. Drink of the gods. Besides, Durag's not a complete pushover, so... This one or the next one? Because Durag is marked for death, killing them is not a problem. You don't incur any issues, even if you've got a writ, especially if there's anyone around. But what people normally do is...
Say your business.
I'm here to kill you. Sorry. Is come in here, kill Dura, and just use the house as a base. Because, as I've mentioned before, this is how property works in Morrowind. One thing to note, however, is that all the things are still marked, all the crates or the containers are still marked for Dura's ownership. But, door's locked apparently, but that's fine. That's a good excuse to use a lockpick and gain a little bit of experience. I do have a lockpick still, right? Yes, I do. and use it as a place to dump stuff. Don't put stuff in the containers though, because if you do, it'll come out stolen. Which is a little random, but it's how it goes. You can sleep in the bed, which is nice. And that's, if you don't want to join a faction and use the beds in there, or you can just dump stuff on the floor and it won't despawn. One of the reasons to dispose of bodies everywhere you went was so that you didn't overload the game's memory when you loaded back in and start having it crash because you had too much clutter littering around. So you can drop stuff all over the house and it'll be fine. But don't put it in the crates. You had a disturbing dream. You can only recall one part. A tall figure with a golden mask led you among the dead as through a wedding celebration. You heard many voices, but no lips moved. You strained to breathe, but your chest didn't move. The tall man spoke with each figure as he passed among them, laughing and joking as if they were alive, but they made no reply. You tried to cry out, but without breath, your tongue fluttered in vain. Nasty. I've been to parties like that, frankly. Then again, I'm kind of introverted. A lot of parties feel like that. What's that? Is that worth selling? Nope. I just picked it up from Dura when I disposed of the body. So, you can leave stuff and it'll just pile around cluttered. So, that's the quote marks house for Balmora, or at least one of them. Stop pressing that by mistake. Stop it. Thank you. So the other place where you can set up shop and without causing yourself huge problems by storing things in containers that will get them marked as stolen is Murder Victim Manor. Up here.
Where is my relief? Late as usual.
Do you get to the Cloud District often? I didn't think so.
Move along, Outlander.
Yes. Is it this one?
So, where are you from?
Same place as you. No. They look alive in here.
What's your story?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Who are you, Stargel? Stargel, I hate to tell you, my friend, but your parents really hated you. Hello, Sarah. I'm Stargel, and this is Balmora. I don't believe we've met. Is there something I can do for you? Sure. Tell me about yourself. I'm Stargel. My home is here, Balmora. Okay, and what's your trade? Your trade is unmentionable. I'm a commoner, and you're an outlander. Okay. Tell me about soul sickness, Stargel. I'm telling you, it's making me worried. My neighbor was outside in the middle of the night last night, running around, talking nonsense, and in the morning he doesn't remember a thing about it. These scholars talk stuff about delusion diseases and such. What the hell does that mean? Why can't the priests cure it? That's an excellent question. Do you have a secret for me? Somebody said Larius Varro over at Fort Moonmoth is looking for you. Said he wanted to talk to you. Don't know about what about. Is that a secret? It can't be a secret that someone's looking to talk to me and has told people about that. Like, that's a message. That's not a secret. There's a significant difference. One you're supposed to pass on, one you're supposed to keep hidden. I see your background is still white. Do you have more to say? Maybe if I persuade you to be a bit more forthcoming. How about some money? How about now? Well, maybe later, Stargel. look into getting a nickname or something, my friend. You sound like Goop. No one wants to sound like Goop.
Can I help you out?
Slalom Manor, here we are. I think there's a slightly less observed door. Maybe? I forget. Maybe not. Okay. Drop a save.
To get my weapon resharpened.
Do any of you care? Guess we're about to find out, aren't we? Is it Renault? Something like that? Renault Lalo has been murdered. Oh, I've leveled up. That's nice. No one cared. Good. Not guards, I guess. And this is his gaff. As you can see, it's really rather nice. Well furnished and everything. And oh, they moved the body. That'd be a shame. You see, there's a lot of storage. A lot of it's owned, so you'll get stolen flags or risk resets. This pack might have moved the corpse, I guess. Or it might have relocated it. Let's have a little look around. Servants' quarters is through one of these doors. I wonder if those refresh, or whether it's a one and done. No, it's a one and done. Still, it's all good experience. Guess this is probably the servants' quarter then. Oh no, it's the corpse. Okay, they've moved things around a bit, but that makes sense. Apart from the fact that this house is big and fancy and has lots of space for you to dump stuff in, the chests used to be unowned. That's obviously been patched, but you used to be able to use all the chests. What you can do is store things in Ryland's inventory. Ryland is the best crate in the game. Because the thing about a body is that it has infinite capacity so long as you don't need to move around too much. Like, you can keep picking as much stuff up as you like, but the more stuff you pick up, the more it weighs until you're overloaded and you can't move. But Ryland's dead. He doesn't need to move. You don't want him to move. So if you load all of your spare stuff up on him, he's just going to stay there forever. And he's not going to refresh. He's not going to change the ownership of everything. He is the infinite crate. And isn't that nice of him? He's also got some decent clobber too. As I've said before, it's always worth snagging higher quality clothing because it's good practice when you start enchanting stuff. Because the better quality something is, the more enchanting capacity it has. Do I have any spare kit that I don't want we can do to just, cover you up a little, old boy? It seems a little unrefined to just leave you hanging around completely in the nud for no reason, on top of being dead and all. I think that might have to be your lot. I've got quite a lot of nice clothing. I'm going to have to pop back somewhere and dump it off. I mean, also, this is really close to the Mages Guild comparatively, so that makes it another good place to keep stuff, because it's quick to get to, as opposed to, say, the run along the coast from the Siltstrider at Sedanine. What's the book? Oh, a lesson of Vivek. I'll always read a lesson of Vivek. Sermon 22. I will read it silently because I still somehow have not deleted that mod. Dear gods. Then Vivek left the first whirling school and went back to the space that was not a space. From the provisional house he looked into the middle world to find the second monster, which was called the Treasurewood Sword. Within years of the pomegranate banquet it had become a lessening tune to the lower Velothi houses. They preached of its power. The Treasurewood Sword, splinter scintilla of the high and glorious, he who wields it becomes self-known. The warrior poet appeared as a visitation in the ancestor alcove of House Mora, whose rose-worn prince of garlands was a hero against the northern demons. Vivek congregated again with the bones. He said, "A scavenger cannot acquire a silk sash and expect to discover the greater systems of its predecessor. Perfect happiness is embraced only by the weeping. Give me back, and do so freely, what is barren of my marriage, and I will not erase you from the thought realm of God. Your line has a notable enchantress that my sister Ayem is fond of, and from her murky wisdom alone do I condescend to ask." A bone walker emerged from a wall. It had 3 precious stones set in its lower jaw, a magical practice of old. One was opal, the colour of opal. Shocking. The bone walker bowed to the prince of the middle air and said, "The Treasurewood Sword will not leave our house. Bargains were made with the Black Hand's Mafala, the greater shade." Vivek kissed the first precious stone and said, "Animal picture, rude walker, go back to the lamp that stays lit in water and store no more messages of useless noise. Down." He kissed the second precious stone and said, "Proud residue soon dispersed, serve no guarantees made in my fore-image and demand nothing of its underskin. I am master evermore. Down." He kissed the opal and said, "Down I take thee." And then Vivek withdrew into the hidden places and found the darkest mothers of the Morag Tong, taking them all to wife and filling them with undusted loyalty that tasted of summer salt. There's a euphemism, undusted loyalty. They became as black queens, screaming live with 100 murderous sons, 1,000 murderous arms, and 100,000 murderous hands, one vast moving event of ever-thrusting kill laughter. In alleys, palaces, workshops, cities, and secret halls, their movements among the holders of the Rathim were as rippled endings, heaving between times, with all fates leading to swallowed knives, murderers moaning, God's holy rape erasure of wet death. The King of Assassins presented to Vivek the Treasurewood Sword. "My lord," the King of Assassins said, "the Prince of House Mora is now fond of you as well. I placed him in the corner of Dagon. His eyes I set into a fire prayer for the wicked, his mouth I stuffed with birds. The ending of the words is Alm Civi." So I trust you feel enlightened by that. There are subsectors of the Elder Scrolls lore crowd that really quite deep dive this stuff and claim to have found all sorts of interesting Gnostic parallels to, not really occultism, but certainly deep mythic philosophy. I don't know myself, but it's batshit, and that amuses me. So I do have a fondness for the lessons of Vivek. So those are the 3 cornerstones of moral turpitude in Balmora. Steal the White Woe, use Rallin's corpse, and kill Dura-gra-Bol for the house. None of them are necessary, although the Sword of White Woe is helpful. It's kind of also cheesy in the same sort of sense that stealing the Lyware platter is cheesy. As we've ascertained, I embrace cheesy. I like cheese. Cheese is good. I had cheese for breakfast, and now I'm having it for my gaming diet as well. Ooh, that's quite a nice vintage. I don't think I can flog that to Creeper. Don't think he takes potions, but it'll all help in our quest to launder our smashing new sword. But I'm not going to do that right away. I mean, there's a very interesting range of boozes. Punavit residue, huh? Wow. A lot of these things I've never heard of before. I assume at least some of them have been added by... the Shine didn't actually pass the threshold test, but oh well. At least some of them have been added by the... Sorry, too busy looting to talk, I guess. Have been added by the expansion pack. Sujamma does hit the threshold, but there's quite a lot of it. How's my weight limit? I can't afford to take that. Is that armor? And, you know, all the wine I just grabbed, but the armor. Yeah, I assume that quite a lot of these have been added by the pack. And they probably deserve much more attention than me just nabbing them and flogging them to someone. They all have a lot of interesting sort of different things. But... oh, guar milk, good. Different guar milk. Fermented guar milk, I suppose. Interesting. Brief. Master. Don't think there's anything in any of these usually. Yeah. And yeah, obviously if you go around just nabbing everything, you'll make the place look a lot more barren. And again, with prices like these, I must be getting close to the edge now. I'm probably over the edge. Yes. Let's put some stuff in here. Can't sort by weight, sadly. But... yeah, that's useless. That's stuff I grabbed from the Orc, I guess. Clothes are pretty light because they're clothes. Let's just dump all of this Hlalu bone mold in because I'm sure that's enough. 30. 15. Okay, fine. Right, let's go fence some stuff. Some things I'm going to flog to the Khajiit on the corner, who we did the little not officially romantic thing for. As you can tell, I'm having problems with proper nouns today. Revere. Yes, hello Revere. No, I'm here to sell stuff to you, my friend. How much money do you have today? 600. So let's start with the skooma, because anyone else will be freaked out by that. Just dump random wines and so on. Yeah, I don't really want that. That looks big, yes, shine. Go. Dish brandy. Get back to that. Jug of punavit. That's heavy, that's cheap. That was a letdown. Okay. Now let's just go through dumping stuff that isn't a potion, or at least isn't a potion that we want, until he runs out of money. Magic resistance, 8%, no. Paralyze, no, I don't want to paralyze myself, thank you. Restore health, restore magicka, shock resistance, 8%, no. Ha ha ha. Serodated brandy is occasionally useful. Lightning shield, maybe. Fire shield, maybe. For endurance, yes. Fatigue, sure. Spell absorption, why not? Flynn. Okay, let's take something back. One of the Flynn, maybe. Sure, I just sold you 2 of those. Oh, I see. Okay, fine. That'll do. Thank you.
Ravir buys magic weapons direct from the Telvanni. You'll not find any cheaper in all Balmora.
That's good to know. I think we can just loiter here for 24 hours. And he should be re-wealthed. Yes, good. So we were in Flynn, weren't we? Fortify agility. Maybe, might need that. Fortify willpower. Not at the cost of burden. Okay, I'm going to stick with that because that might be useful at some point. That's my guar milk. Gurg. Cure paralyze, huh? Yeah, I'll keep that. Cursed. Basically, that's my thief stuff. Agility, luck, and personality. I'm unlikely to remember to use that. Levitate, good, always need one of those. Probably not. Health again, probably not. Most booze, obviously, isn't really... I mean, it's kind of there as a 10% dispel. Nah. You can afford that. Restore attribute. You might be able to afford one. Personality. I remember making that potion. Fatigue and fatigue. Magicka. Willpower, intelligence. Nah. Yeah, most booze has downsides to differentiate it mainly from other potions. Here's where we were, I guess. And I'm bad enough at remembering to use potions in general, let alone potions with notable downsides. Personality and willpower. I mean, I could drink that now and get a better price, but I can't be bothered. Because even though I'm cheesy, I'm also not that bothered about squeezing every drop of value out of everything. That should bring us to around 600. Okay. Good. How much has that done? See, that's brought us down a decent chunk of weight. Should better sell you some of that armor as well. But I'll do that with Creeper. He gets better prices. So, okay, let's go ahead over to Creeper quickly and see what we can do. See if we can get anywhere close to getting him enough money to being... I might have to respawn Galbadir or something. Then again, maybe it doesn't matter.
Asks way too many questions.
Yes, I'll go to Caldera. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
Teleportation is the only civilized way to travel.
Yes, Outlander.
I agree.
What do you want?
Do you need something?
Yes, but not from
Outlander.
you.
What do you want?
Well, that's not shady. Disappearing elves, ho hum. Seen any elves? Am I going the right way? Been a while. I am going the right way. Good. Hello, orcs.
Say your needs. You may ask your question, but make it quick.
So, I need you to have 17,000. Oh, okay, 11,000. Maybe it's a bit damaged. That's handy. So, take it back for the moment. Sell other things. Like that. You can have this stuff. Because even if I buy everything that he has on him, that still won't give me enough to launder this thing. Except now it will, won't it? Because they don't want 1,100 for it, 11,000 for it. So I don't want to sell you anything just yet, do I? I want to buy stuff from you. $10.0421, $10.0405. That's handy. Okay. Now, I can sell you White Woe. Now, I can buy White Woe. And now I can sell you all this other bullshit. Devil's Longbow, Devil's Spear, Dwarven Jinxsword that I can't use, Dwarven Mace, Dwarven Spear, Flint Wood Axe, Iron Short Sword. Keep my Poisoned Rapier, Steel Dagger, Spider Blade. And then there was a bunch of armor crap that I bought as well, wasn't there? So... yeah, you can have the wig, it's fine. For a total value of 250, I don't care about the condition. The Indrill boots, though. Greaves. I really don't remember to put that on sometimes, particularly when I'm selling things. But, you know, like I said, oh well. It doesn't really matter. 13. I can still theoretically squeeze a bit of value out of him if he'll buy stuff. I don't think he buys potions. I sold pretty much everything I wanted to sell anyway. You buy that? Well, you will buy it. Fine. Okay, I guess I could have sold the booze to you, but, you know, ah well. Too bad, so sad, etc. That would have been useful. That would have gotten rid of the guard by having to murder them. See if I can remember to use that at some point. Probably not, though. You buy this stuff? You do? Excellent. I'll have some of them back then. Okay. Goodbye for a moment. Now let me just dissociate in front of you for a little bit of time. I'm perfectly normal, really. I always spend 24 hours standing staring at merchants without saying anything. And let's flog you the rest of this ebony ware. It's quite pretty. And I can see why it's valuable, particularly since ebony is a highly restricted substance. But it's not so pretty that I'm not going to just flog it off. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be taking that to someone, aren't I? Fine. Okay. Thanks, Creeper. It's been a pleasure. And now we're about 10k up, and our weight is properly down, and our sword shouldn't be stolen anymore. See? Not stolen. This is nice. This means that next time I get stopped by the guards, they won't steal White Woebag. And, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't mind losing as guard attacks if I get caught for stuff, but artifact weapons are not one of them. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, Outlander.
Go
what
ahead.
do you want?
It would make more sense if
Why
NPC
walk when I can guide?
barks were triggered by you actually pausing in front of someone rather than just walking past them. I'm not looking for Tholm's Mirrell, he's on the mainland. Or she, maybe, I shouldn't assume. Balmora.
Teleportation is the only civilized way to travel.
Well said. How are you doing, Ajira?
Ajira knows that you are a good friend of Ajira.
Got anything going on? No, I've got to get to Warlock, don't I? Yes, I should go and speak to Edwina Ebelbert. I don't think I want to go around murdering people just yet. I say, having just murdered a couple of people who are completely blameless. I mean, Dura obviously wasn't completely blameless because the Morag Tong are quite strict about not taking frivolous death warrants. Let's just level up quickly. You have ascended to level 6 with every push you did to gain knowledge, and yet your thirst for it increased. You realize there is so much more to learn still. That's not very grammatical. But intelligence and willpower so that we're no longer quite so dumb, and luck. Excellent. Now I want to start working on endurance a bit, because that governs your hit points. And I guess personality. Or endurance, intelligence, endurance, willpower. Yeah, let's try endurance and one of the 3 mental stats for the next few levels, until we've got all of those up to at least 50. Yeah, the Morag Tong exist as a way to fend off war, primarily. So instead of letting things come to armies moving against each other and killing lots of people and trashing the countryside, aggrieved nobles and people trying to work against other houses in general go to the assassins and kill specific individuals. And it's perfectly legal because it is seen as better than letting things get to actual open warfare. So, you decide you want to take over someone's territory. Rather than marching in an army, you send in a bunch of assassins to kill the heads of their house. And then when they're weak, you put your own person in charge of the space. And there you go, your territory. They're not supposed to take warrants that are just like some nobleman going, "This woman refused my advances, go and murder her." So likely she was a strategic asset of some sort, at least in theory. I don't think it's ever written up in any way. But, an unfortunate chess piece on the board, rather than just, a squirrel in trees. Doesn't mean she's not blameless, of course. She might be just unfortunate, caught up in the whole thing. But, at the end of the day, she exists to die, because this is the way of things. Let's see, what else? I do want to get down into the underground here, but we're kind of getting to a fairly lengthy episode size. So what I'm going to do is head to Seydanine.
We make a special trip just for you. Same low price.
And drop off my fancy clothing and my alchemy ingredients and get my overall weight level down a bit. And yeah, unfortunately, there isn't a quick way to transfer stuff around from place to place, from inventory to inventory. You have to drag it, I think. There must be a mod somewhere that lets you, with 2 inventories open, lets you click an item to move stuff between the inventories. I should go looking for that. But if I can't think of anything rambly to say, which, given my fatigue levels this morning, is entirely possible, then I will probably fast forward through it, because just having me go click thunk, click thunk, click thunk isn't going to be very much fun. I think I have a wardrobe, don't I? Or some such. Let's have some specific place where I'm dumping clothing. Is it in here, or is it just armor in here? Yeah, it's in here. Okay, good. As I remember, I decided I'd try to keep most of the stuff by the door because that was more convenient. Which makes sense. Because one of the advantages of trying to do things which make sense is that they should continue to make sense to you. So when you've completely forgotten what you were doing, you think, what would make sense? And hopefully you come up with at least a similar answer, and it doesn't take, much more than 5 or 10 minutes to work out what you were trying to think of before. But given the way that the world is at the moment, and the ongoing brain rot involved in getting older, who actually knows? I wouldn't want to have to rely on anything making sense in any way whatsoever. Yes, I know, I'm just rambling incoherently again. But yay. Biscuits. One of the other things I want to see if it is possible to do in Morrowind is to get an alchemy helper of the same sort of sort that the system used in Oblivion, so that you select an ingredient and it highlights, or at least trims down, the list of things you have to show things that you know have similar properties, because that would make it significantly quicker to go through all of this stuff. Because I can just sit by the ingredient crate and snag absolutely everything that I have and dump it all in my inventory and brew up a potion storm. But when all you have is a list of all your ingredients that you have to scroll through horizontally and look at each one like this, you just get all these various icons in a line and you have to hover over them to see what the various thing does. So if you're not following a recipe, that's usually means something produced by people outside, trying to work out what's going to work with other stuff is tiresome. Plus you waste a lot of ingredients. I think I'm dumping half this on the floor, actually. No, well, it'll be fine. You can see the difference it's making. Well, if you look at my weight, I was at 360 after selling things to Creeper and Revere, and I'm already down to 220 and I'm still halfway through the ingredients. These things, when you just grab them all, they add up. They probably add up in terms of value too, but I'm almost 20,000 gold at this point, and there's not a huge amount to spend it on really, apart from services. So that's one of the reasons why I'm perfectly happy to make use of the training as a way of making sure you get the stats you want thing. Because really, you accumulate money quite swiftly. And once you're past the first couple of levels in particular, you're going to be able to afford to train stuff even as your skills get quite high. And you're hardly going to get much progress in your off-character skills to begin with. So using them as training dumps so you can get your stats up is perfectly viable, and also, you know, it gives you something to do with the money that isn't just enchanting. Enchanting is very expensive. Creating spells can be expensive. But you don't typically buy equipment, because equipment you can buy tends to be worse than really remember to use these things up. They weigh a chunk too. I'll try to do that next time I'm going to flog any armor. I've still got some bits and pieces in that chap's corpse. Do I have anything in here that needs repair? No, 400, 600, 485, that does. But, I mean, it's crap anyway, who cares? Okay, fine. Back down to like 25% carry weight. Got a few too many potions. Maybe I'll go through the potions at the start of the next session, before heading back to Balmora to look at the underground. But that's where I'm going to leave it for this morning. Sorry again about last week. I am doing my best to keep these things coming. If you're on the lookout for other comparatively calm, relaxing stuff to watch, I suggest you try Life at the Cabin by Martijn Doolard. That's MartijnDoolard. Martijn is a Dutch graphic designer and explorer who bought some tumble-down stone cottages in the Italian Alps 3 years ago, and is slowly and patiently and very calmly doing them up by hand himself, including repairing walls, putting in new roofs, really turning them from old cattle sheds into functional living spaces. And he's a very calm guy, and he's quite quiet, and his cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. So if you like the idea of lots of beautiful footage of the Italian Alps and picturesque stone former cattle huts and, you know, the occasional bit of cookery and stuff, go check it out. There's over 150 weekly episodes at this point. It's just very calm, chill, wholesome, life-affirming sort of stuff. You know, the kind of things that barely seem to exist anymore in reality. That's my tip for the sanity top. And in the meantime, I will make absolutely sure to be back next week. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you're as well as you can be, and I'm thinking of you. Even though I don't know who you are, I'm thinking of you anyway. Have a good one. Bye for now.